your life.
Graham Norton!
The Pet Shop Boys are here.
Hello.
That's Neil and
Hello.
that's Chris. How are you both?
Very good, thank you.
You must be thrilled with the success of this 11th album, and I mean, fantastic reviews, fantastic response.
Yes, it's, even one or two people have bought it. So
Well, that's all
we're
good.
really made up. Yeah.
Do you at this stage do you care?
Yes, we do care.
About the response or
Yeah, about the
quality
response.
of the music?
No. I mean, obviously you care when you're putting together the album, but do you care about what then happens when you give it out to the world? Do you care?
Yeah, I mean, we do.
Yeah.
But well, we always try to, make the best record that we're going to like ourselves. You can't really tell what other people are going to like, sadly.
And this is the first time you've worked in America, recorded in America.
It is indeed, yes.
How did that happen? Why did that happen?
Well, we wrote these songs and they had a sort of slightly smooth sound, and we thought if we went to America we'd get amazing backing vocalists. And so you get sort of amazing level of professionalism, and we worked with a producer who'd worked with Kanye West, and Kanye West's records are very electronic, but they're very different from ours, of course, and we just thought we'd get something different.
And in terms of putting together an album, I mean, how do you approach it? Do you kind of go, oh, we've written enough songs now? Or do you sit down and, right, we're going to write an album?
Well, for this we wrote quite a few songs, but then we edited together the ones that we thought had a similar mood, and rejected the more up-tempo dance stuff.
Yeah, well, there is am I right in saying there's a sense on this album of looking back, of taking stock?
I think it's not so much that as looking at it from our perspective of how old we are, and we've been doing this for a long time, and making fun of it a bit. There's a track we are
your early stuff,
yeah, which all these remarks taxi drivers have made to me about how we must be retired now. And so yeah, it is. Maybe taking stock is a good way of putting it. Yeah, it is. And also, we could have made a banging dance album. We wanted to do something that was a sort of beautiful listening experience. So it's quite an unusual album for us, in that it is quite reflective.
And I suppose in a way it's reflective, but it also reflects your fans, because we're the same age as you, I guess. Have we all grown up together? Is that what's happened?
Maybe. I think maybe a lot of our fans are 10 or 15 years younger than us, because they might have been at school when we were.
But they're probably not clubbing, though, are they?
No, they've all got.
Even if they're 15 years younger, they're probably not doing an all-nighter.
They've all got children and proper jobs.
Yeah,
and all the rest.
And you can listen to this album in your house.
Yes, you can, or your car.
Yeah,
yes, exactly.
And it's all very. Yeah, it is. But that sounds like a bad thing. But it's a beautiful thing.
I think it's a beautiful thing as well. But we are going to be making something a bit more up and dancey next, just because we have got these songs we haven't finished yet.
Yeah. Are you going to tour this?
Yes, next year.
And so that'll be quite a gentle, lovely evening.
Well, will it? I don't know if it will. Actually, someone wrote on iTunes or some website or something that they wanted our next tour to be even better. More strobes.
Yeah.
What was the other thing?
And banging.
More strobes and banging. So actually, we're going to take advice from this person. And the next tour is going to be more strobes and banging.
In a way, I was slightly surprised that you'd came up with a new studio album, because you'd gone away into so many different things. I thought maybe you'd fallen out of love with doing this.
No, doing different things like we did the ballet, the most incredible thing. It kind of gives you the hunger to make pop records again. Because when you're writing this it's very long piece, and it's really fascinating to do it, you just think how great it would be to write a 3.5-minute pop song. So I think the two things play off each other.
Because when was that? Was it 2006? 9?
The ballet was 2 years ago.
The last
studio album was 2009.
2009.
Yes. Yeah.
So does it get to a point where you miss it? You kind of think, oh, I want to go back into the studio and I want to do that. Or are you kind of in the studio all the time?
Well, we do work all the time. If we're not touring, we're normally in the studio writing. And we're currently writing a piece about Alan Turing, the scientist.
Yeah.
So we're going to debut some of those pieces at when is it? December, with the BBC Philharmonic up in Salford. So looking forward to that.
There's fancy.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Philharmonic in Salford.
Yeah, no, because Alan Turing lived in Manchester.
Well, it all makes sense.
So it all hangs, it's all frightfully clever. And actually we're working with Alan Turing's biographer now, Andrew Hodges, who is the cleverest person we've ever met. And he's a professor at Oxford University. And we had a meeting with them. I think he was slightly nervous meeting us, and we were really nervous to even mention anything to do with science, which is what you've got to do with Alan Turing, because he's so astonishingly, clever.
Is it a narrative piece?
It is a narrative, yeah. It's got a sort of narrative. It's kind of like the story of Alan Turing, just key moments in the life of Alan
Yeah, it's
Turing.
music with narration. We've got to find someone to narrate it.
Hello.
Someone with gravitas.
Hello. Would you ever write another musical? Would you ever do another musical?
Yes, actually, someone is about to produce a notorious musical, Closer to Heaven.
It's not notorious.
And in Australia, and they've asked for permission to make the lead character, as I'm sure you recall, is called Straight Dave, who's Irish. They're going to make him Australian.
Oh.
So I think we might have to
What
go...
a crazy production. Wow, they've just turned it on its head.
well, actually, I think
That director is off the hook.
Graham Norton.
Let me read some of these emails.
All right.
People have been in touch.
Marvellous.
The first one I noticed, can't spell my name. We got married yesterday and we're on the way to catch the Orient Express. Oh, absolutely love the Pet Shop Boys, and we played their music in our wedding Bentley, being as we couldn't book them to perform. Tell my new husband Chris I love him loads. He's always on my mind. Aww. That's Mrs. Karen Byrne.
very luxurious, isn't it? The Bentley, the Orient
Bentley.
Express.
The Bentley, I tell you. Really, actually, you're right. It's nothing to do with you. They're just showing off. They just wanted it on the radio. Yeah, the Bentley I'm agreeing to do. Let's get to some actual questions. What are your plans for touring dates in the UK next year? Have you decided where yet? That's Brian in Ramsgate.
No, we haven't yet. We were actually having a meeting the other day about it. But we will be touring next year, and we will be announcing the dates in the new year. Jeff.
And what size venues will you do?
Well, I don't want to say yet.
Okay.
It's not actually finalised.
All right.
A bit like last time, though. A bit like last
Brian,
time.
it's a bit like last time.
But the show's going to be not like last time.
The show's not like last time. I'm just making it clear to Brian. Can you ask Neil and Chris if they're considering doing more with collaborations, as they are now the thing in the charts? Actually, that's true. You used to be very keen on the with.
On featuring.
Yes, you know, the
Yeah.
Liza, the Dusties, all of this.
Yeah. No, we haven't got any planned, have we?
Brendan, they've none planned.
We do keep thinking, though, about doing a whole album of them, but then we never do it.
It's hard trying to think of people, isn't it? I mean, maybe people make suggestions or something.
I don't, well, or do people come up to you, do terrible people come up to your parties and kind of go, we'd love to work with you, and you're thinking, not in a million years.
Occasionally. Occasionally.
Quick, play record, I want to know who. Quite clearly, really? Rishtard has written, quite clearly a dubstep influence on the new album. Is that true?
The only influence of dubstep is the sort of half-tempo thing, but it's
On
not...
what track?
On Ego Music, there's sort of half-tempo thing, but it's very loose. I mean, you wouldn't call it a dubstep album, really, by any stretch.
Holly, who claims to be age 6, is coming to see you at Rough Trade on Wednesday.
We're doing a record signing.
Oh.
Rough Trade East, yes.
Holly wants to know, will you sign her notebook, or do you have to buy an album?
You are meant to buy there's an exclusive 7-inch single of Leaving, which you can only buy at independent record stores in the UK. And we are going to be signing those and copies of the new album and all the rest of it.
You're like the Martha Stewart's of music, aren't you? You just constant new formats.
Well, we've decided we're going. Every year rather in Britain they have Independent Record Store Day, where the music industry shows an interest in independent record stores, and people do special records for it. And then the rest of the year we just sink back to the normal torpor, where there's not where digital sales are encouraged. So with this, we've been trying to do a product they can only buy in independent record stores.
And of course, I think with your product, people always expect kind of artwork of a certain standard.
And they get it.
They do. But this is it's quite simple, I would say, the artwork on
It is simple,
Elysium.
but it's very nicely...
It's beautiful.
Very nicely varnished and finished
Yes.
and all the rest.
Who
of
took
it.
the picture of the sea? It's beautiful.
The picture is taken by one of our designers, actually.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, it's very nice, very nice. Justine in Chelsea, don't know if you know her.
I don't actually. I've probably seen her in Marks and Spencer's.
She has a question. When you aren't working or on tour, how often do you talk to each other, see each other?
Well, it's, we're normally doing something.
Yes.
And so that we would be talking about. If we don't like go on holiday together.
No, that would be weird.
No.
But Chris, you were saying.
Well, actually, we have been on holiday together before. Wasn't that weird?
But Chris, you were saying that you're always working. Is there a routine? You know, sort of. I'll see you in the studio at 10,
11.
11. Okay.
And then we're just dying to go out for lunch.
And then it's
really.
lunch. You've only got an hour till lunch then.
Nothing really gets going.
And then you have a
until
glass
about
of
4 o'clock.
wine, and then, or should we go back? No, I can't. Should we have another? Should we have another glass of wine?
Yeah,
we need to
drink
buy a
at
rug.
lunchtime. Yeah, we're going to buy. Yes, we're going to buy a rug for the studio.
Ooh, I'm so glad Louis in Glasgow's asked, because I meant to ask you about it. The story behind the song "Winner." Was it written for the Olympics or Eurovision?
It was in. We've been asked twice
Would you not do it? Would you not do it?
to.
Do it.
We were asked once to write the song. And we asked,
lads, you'd love it. Honestly, you'd love it. Do it.
the problem is there's too much to lose. It's the
What's
block.
to lose?
It's the block.
What's it? You
voting.
sold 50 million albums.
And then we're going to blow it on the
No,
on
you
Eurovision.
won't. You'll just have a laugh. You'll just have a laugh. It's,
We nearly did do it actually.
oh,
one
you
time.
should do it. It'd be great because you could stage it so well too.
Anyway, they said, would you write the song? And we said, well, it's the sort of thing, you've got to have the right song. And when we started writing this song, we were touring with Take That last year, and we both thought, this could be the Eurovision song.
Yes.
And that's where, lyrically, the idea of "You're a Winner" and all the rest of it came from. And we thought of giving it to the BBC, but then we didn't. And then we put it on, and our producer said it should go on the album. And then when we finished it and the Olympics were being on, it just seemed like if we brought out the album in September and there's a song called "Winner," everyone would have said, why didn't you bring it out for the Olympics? So we did.
And I love that there's a kind of, isn't there a lyric in it about "You're a winner, but only for now"?
Yeah,
You know,
no, it's
enjoy it for the minute.
enjoy it while it lasts.
Yes.
It's sort of into. I remember when we first got to #1 with West End Girls, and we were on Top of the Pops, and as the camera was coming towards us, Chris hissed at me, "Don't look triumphant," and it's sort of. You don't really expect a moment something like that to last. I think we thought at that point we were going to be a one-hit wonder. But it was sort of an amazing thing. So it was a bit inspired by that as well.
Actually, Chris, I wanted to ask you, you know, obviously now it's worked out incredibly well, the glasses and the hat and everything, so you get all the money and you walk around unbothered. But obviously you didn't know how successful you were going to become. So were you signing on or something? Was there a reason why you were in disguise at the beginning?
Actually, when you look back, I wasn't that heavily disguised back then.
You were still wearing the hat and the glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
I think you were.
Yeah, thank you, Neil.
Well, you know, I'm basically quite a shy person.
Okay. There's more to that story, isn't there? There is a lot more to that story. You told lies. You weren't supposed to be there. We're sort of out of time. It's been lovely to see you. Thank
Love
you very
to
much
see
for
you
coming
again.
in.
Pleasure.
And good luck with it all.
Real Graham.